Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to NANP's webinar featuring the Jane app. I am your host, Tiffany Perry, Development Specialist for the NANP. These webinars are recorded and can be viewed by registrants, and we'll send you a link to the webinar recording later this week. Let's go ahead and get started. Today we present Patient-Focused Efficiency. Let Jane Simplify Your Practice with Diana Bahutska. Diana is a member of the Canadian support and education teams at Jane. She has been with Jane for over a year and works with a variety of Jane's customers, from independent practitioners, multidisciplinary clinics, to post-secondary institutions across North America. Diana worked in a multidisciplinary clinics setting for over 3 years prior to working at Jane. Diana will walk us through the Jane app and showcase features cherished by our health nutritionist community. Discover tools designed to streamline workflows and sharpen your practice focus. Welcome, Diana. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if everyone could please hold their questions until the end so that she can get through her content, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Welcome, Diana.
Hello, everyone. As Tiffany has introduced me, my name is Diana. I am a part of the Jane's customer support as well as the education teams here at Jane. So I do work with a wide range of customers that we have, ranging from independent practitioners to large education accounts across North America. And I just want to say thank you for allowing Jane to be here today. We're very thrilled to be partnering with the National Association of Nutrition Professionals this year, and we cannot wait to tell you more about how Jane can help your practice. So I'll just get started. So let me introduce Jane to you. If you haven't met Jane before, Jane is a clinic management software and an EMR that was co-founded by an owner of a multidisciplinary clinic, as well as a developer with an obsession for design. Jane is both beautiful to use and very intentional, focused on the needs and workflows of hardworking private professionals. So the agenda for today, because we are focusing on the patient-focused efficiency, we're not going to go over all the features in Jane because I can go on forever. However, we are going to talk about some of the key features that I think is going to help you as well as your patients to make sure that you both have successful experience and it can be as efficient as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the overall patient experience and the booking process. We're then going to run through the administrative side of Jane. I'm going to talk about some of the insurance topics. And then following that, we're going to take a peek at charting, and we'll finish off with telehealth. We do have an exclusive offer for NANP members that would be new to Jane. So I'll make sure to talk about that at the very end of our session. And then, as Tiffany mentioned, there is going to be a Q&A session at the end. So please, if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A section in the bottom of the screen on the control panel. So let's dive in. All right. So first, we're going to start with the online booking process. I am going to change gears a little bit just because I do want to give you a live demonstration of the software. I have created and tried to narrow it down to show you what it could look like for your practice specifically. So I have created Susan and I have dropped in a couple of sessions. So I have tried to do it as close as possible, but simplified just so that it makes sense and it's relevant. The online booking site for independent practitioners would look something like this. You would be able to put your branding, your logo, you can upload your photo, put a biography, and below you could display all of the services that you would offer. From there, when a client goes on your online booking site, they would be able to click on the type of an appointment that they're looking to book, and then Jane is going to display the availability of the practitioner. From there, they can go ahead and select the time that works best for them. And if there is an online booking policy, which can be set, they would be taken to then show exactly, what that can be, what that can look like. I'm just going to come back here because somebody else is also playing here. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So 1 second, I'm just going to come back here. All right, so the appointment has been booked. I'm just here going to, 1 second, change my gear a little bit. Just bear with me for a second. All right. Okay. So the appointment has been scheduled, and then from there, a patient would receive a confirmation email, and they would be able to um, receive all of the necessary information. I am going to quickly, just bear with me for a second here. I have set everything up, but unfortunately, someone decided to change my settings a little bit. This does happen when we do a lot of demos. All right. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So the appointment has been booked. From there, I can click I am done, and then Jane's going to show the client the available information. Because the settings are to be patient selectable, they will get this little banner that says, do you want to enable your notifications? They can opt into whatever the clinic had set up, and from here, they are able to see what they have booked. So right here, they have the information regarding the appointments. They can also put a reason for their visits. So here, this just gets tucked in as a little note on the appointment. This goes nowhere else, but it will allow the practitioner to say, okay, to see this person is coming in for this problem. This is what they are wondering, and this is what they want to know. So if I'm going to just drop a note, I can save this, and then that's as far as it goes. It does not go into any emails, just as a little note. And then below is how they can prepare for the session. So the very first thing is the reminders. I already opted myself in for the email, so therefore there is a check mark, but I can always change it when I make my bookings. Second thing is the intake forms, and that's something that we are going to talk a little bit in more detail at the next stage. But essentially in Jane, you do have the ability to create your own intake forms and automate them, which means that when a person books a specific type of an appointment, if you've set up that initial appointments receive an intake form, whenever either you or a patient books themselves in, they will be prompted to fill out an intake form. This would be the very first step, the very first window where they will encounter the possibility to fill out the intake form. After that, it will be included in their thank you for booking email, which will have a big button that says fill out an intake form. If they don't do it at that step, Jane will also include it in all the reminder emails. And if they still don't fill it out at that step, 24 hours before the appointment, Jane is going to send them a separate email specific to the intake forms, reminding them that that is something that they have to complete before coming in. So that will reduce the workload that you have to take on. That's something very simple that Jane can do automatically, and then they will receive that notification. Now, if they do complete it at any of the first steps, Jane will stop bothering about the intakes. They will not receive any communication because it's done. So from there, you can also choose to display your cancellation policy. We do, when you start your account, we do put some general information, general verbiage that you can utilize. However, you're more than welcome to either remove it altogether, add your own, or tailor what we have. So this is available. From there, your patients do have access to their portal. There is a couple of things that they do have autonomy over. However, that's not a lot. For example, they cannot see their charting section. There are some things that you can share with them that they can review, but they will never be able to see their entire charting area. They will, however, be able to see their previous and their upcoming appointments. And if you give them the opportunity and the permission to cancel their own bookings, they will be able to either reschedule or cancel if it is outside of the cancellation policy. We also do have a feature for waitlist, which means that if you are fully booked, but your patient is very eager to get in, they can add themselves in. And from there, they can say, I really want to get in at this specific location. I do want to get in with Susan for this specific session, and this would be my availability. They can add a reason for the visit, and then they can add themselves in. From there, if the spot does open up, Jane is going to scan your waitlist and they will notify people that do qualify for that spot. And then that person can then, if they're interested, they can claim that spot and the practitioner does not have to do anything because Jane will take care of it. From there, this would be their appointment history. In this case, there is nothing because this is their first visit. So there's no previous history, but they would be able to see their late canceled, no showed, or attended appointments all listed here. Now their intake forms. As you see, this banner does not go away because they do have 2 intake forms that do need to be filled out, and therefore Jane will trigger them. And this banner will remain here until they fill it out. Now they can either click at this button, or on any of the titles of the intake, and Jane will prompt them to fill it out. From there, it will be completed and they will be able to review their submitted form. Now, if you ever choose to share any documents with them, if you want to share any files, any of their charting areas, like your charting entries, you can do so in a HIPAA compliant way. So you can, and I'll show you where that will be at the next step, but essentially you share it with them. Your patient gets an email saying that a document has been shared with them. They'll log into the portal and the file will be available here for as long as you choose to share it. As soon as you take it off, they will no longer be able to view it. Now, things change, people move, phone numbers change. They are able to update their information here without having to contact the clinic or the practitioner. So if something changes, they can go ahead and adjust it here. We also do have an in-house payment processing solution that is called Jane Payments. So with Jane Payments, it will allow you to work with your online booking policy to maybe require a credit card to take a deposit or to require a full payment upfront. With that, you would require to have the Jane Payments. Now, with that, the credit cards will be stored in fully PCI compliant way, meaning that only a token will be stored. So the token is just kind of like the shell of a card, but no actual information is being stored. So you'll see the card type, the last 4 digits, the expiry date, and who the card holder is. The clients will not be able to just go ahead and delete the card that they have. They do have to have one if that is a requirement for you. Now, if there is something that they owe you money for, they can go ahead and pay it themselves. You can send them billing notices, you can send them the invoices, and they will have the full capability to pay their outstanding balances by themselves without having to go and do it with you. And this will allow them to receive their receipt right away. When it comes to deposits, Jane will do the deposit of your income that was processed through Jane Payments every 2 business days. So every 2 business days, you're going to get the deposit in your bank account with all of the funds in your bank account. So every 2 days, you will also have access to the reporting in Jane specifically, which will allow you to review every single transaction, every single payout that does go through Jane. Now, there is no contract, there is no monthly fees, there is no other fees aside from the transaction fee. So because you are located in the US, the transaction fee for the online version of Jane Payments is 2.85% plus 25 cents per transaction. Now, you don't need to use this. You're more than welcome to continue using any payment methods that you currently use in your practice or any of your POS machines, which are the payment processing machines. But it is a very good option, and we have seen positive feedback from our customers in regards to reduced late cancellations and no-shows because clients do have to put their card on file. So they are a bit more conscious of the fact that you do have their information for payment processing if they decide to no-show or cancel. Now, if they ever lose the receipts, now you would not need to send them the receipts because in their portal, they have the availability to review and download their receipts for all of the services that they have received. Because this is a brand new client or a brand new patient, they don't have anything here, but they will be able to retrieve them as they continue to see you for services. The rest of this is their kind of autonomy over their username and password. So if they ever want to change the username or password, or maybe they want to use Google, Facebook, or Twitter as their sign-in partner because they're like, I only remember my Google password, I don't really want to use more, they can go ahead and do that, and this will allow them to just minimize how many passwords they have. This is also available for you. So if you ever like, I have my business Google account and I only want to use this one, I don't want to create more. That is a possibility. It doesn't synchronize or give access to your Google accounts. It simply just allows to use that same password to log into Jane. Now, privacy and security is Jane's top priority, and therefore we do have a two-step verification. You are able to turn it on and receive a text message in order to add that extra layer of protection when you're logging into your Jane account. This is available. You can always turn it on and off depending on your preferences. Now, let's jump into the administrative side. With Jane, I'm going to talk about the settings first. So I did mention the online booking settings. You do have the master switch to turn on or off your online booking site. So maybe you're not interested in having online booking, you like to manage your own. Perfect, you can definitely do that. However, for patient efficiency, this is very great because they can book appointments at any time of the day as long as it fits your preferences. You can then tailor what types of sessions you want to turn on or enable for your patients to book, because maybe some of them are only available for you. So maybe you don't want to offer it at all times, but you do want to have the ability to use that service if an opportunity comes. This would be your online booking settings. So this is what I was talking about, the prepayment or deposits. So you are able to say, I want to require credit card on file upon booking. So if a patient wants to book an appointment, they have to put a credit card on file, and it has to be a valid credit card in order for them to book it. Jane does check if it's a valid card. So if it is a fake credit card, they will not be able to proceed. Now, maybe for the first visit, you want to take a deposit. You can definitely say, I want to require a deposit, and you can say how much you want to require at the time of the booking. You can then save it, and then whenever your patients book, they will be charged the deposit at the time of the booking. If the payment doesn't go through, the appointment does not get confirmed. Now, talking about some of the little preferences and some of the things with online booking. You can enable or disable your same-day booking. Maybe you're like, I do like to plan ahead. I don't like spontaneous bookings, so you can turn this off. Or if you are okay with it, but you just need a bit of time to prepare, you can say, I want same-day bookings, but I don't need a 4-hour buffer. Which means that if I'm looking at your online booking site right now, the earliest availability I'll see is in 4 hours if you have that availability. If there is available slots less than 4 hours, it will say contact to book. So that will be up to you to say when the patient calls you or emails you to say, I'm okay to take this, or maybe this is not the best time because I got to run. So you will have control over that. You then state your cancellation policy, and then you can also limit how many appointments your patient can book. So you can say, I only want them to have 3 appointments in the future, and that is all. So they can book 3 appointments in the future. Once they complete one of them, then they'll be able to book one more. But you are able to set this up and control that. From there, you have some customization in terms of what things and how you want your online booking site to work. All you have to do is check, do you want to book by staff or do you want to only book by treatments? This will allow you to just choose what your preferences are without having to do much more thinking. This will allow you to just check what you prefer and adapt it. From there, you just save your changes and your online booking site is ready. Now, let's talk about the administrative side. The administrative side is quite fun because when you log in as a practitioner, Jane will give you this view. So here you see the dashboard. The dashboard, if you're an independent practitioner or you are the account owner, you work with other practitioners as well, does give you quite a bit of information without having to dig for it. The very first thing is it gives you the dashboard. So it talks to you about the financials. So it tells you how many total patients you've had in the last of the selected criteria, the total, how much you utilize your time, what you've billed for, and then how much you've collected. It gives you the stats here. It also gives you some information in terms of who your top patients are and how much revenue they brought you, what are your top appointments and how many of those you've had within the year, your patient metrics. You also have the ability to collect ratings and reviews to see how you're doing, as well as making sure that your charts are all completed. If you find this distracting, you can always toggle it off and it'll just go away, but you can, if you are interested, you can always turn it back on. And then right here is your schedule. So here you can see your schedule by week view. You can always make it a day view. You can go week by week, or you can jump to different dates in the calendar depending on your preferences. This will display your schedule, and these blocks that you see here is the availability that you dictate for online booking sites to allow patients to book within that time. So if it is outside of those blue blocks right here, so those bright blue ones that I've just turned on, they will not be able to schedule that, but you will. From there, you can also see all of your scheduled appointments. So you can see here, this is the appointment I booked for Susan. This one was booked online. I can see because it says it has a little cloud, tells me that it was booked online. I also have that little note. Remember the one that I typed in at the time of the booking? This is where it hides. So you can see when you hover over or when you click, you can see exactly what the patient has noted. This will allow you to be more prepared and better prepared for your patients when they come in. Now, let's talk about your charting. So in Jane, we do have the ability for you to create your templates. You can create as many templates as you wish. You can have as many as you want, and you can turn them on and off depending if you want to use them. You are also able to build them from scratch, or you can utilize our chart template library. This is a very handy feature, and a lot of our customers love this. The reason for that is because this is a collection of charting templates that were built by other customers of Jane, and they decided to share them with anyone who's interested to take a look. So therefore, when you are looking, for example, for a specific template, you can search by a keyword, you can see all the results. It gives you the title, it gives you who created it, how many years ago they created it, and then how many people have used this. You can click on it, you can then review this and see if you like it. And if you do, you are more than welcome to insert it, and you can edit it as much as you want. Meaning that if there's parts that you don't like, maybe there's the verbs, the words that you don't like, or maybe you want to add more, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do what you want with it and then customize it to make it your own, because this is all about your efficiency. You can then add a template. Just going to add a simple word here, save it, save. Now this is my template. This is available for me to use, and I am able to go ahead and use it when I chart for my patients. From there, let's talk about the intake forms. Intake forms work very similarly. You have the ability to create intake forms and consents, clinical surveys, outcome measure surveys, as well as those ratings and reviews that I chatted about. When it comes to intake forms specifically, because this is what I'm going to focus on, you can have as many as you want. And what you can also do is you can automate them, or you can choose to send them manually. You can put an expiry date on them. And then you can also choose what types of an appointments you want them to be sent to. So if you only want them to go out for initials, all you have to do is put a check mark next to that appointment, and this will just dictate Jane, this is the only appointment I want this intake form to be sent out for, and nothing else, and Jane will do so. Here you are able to collect any information, and you can just select a check mark, and then maybe if it's a required thing that is very important to you, you just say, this is a required field, I want them to fill this out. They will be forced to do so. Credit cards, you may not want to collect it at the time of the booking, but you do want to open the opportunity for your patients to add a credit card, because maybe that's what they prefer to pay with. They don't want to send money or pay in person, they just want you to be able to process it. You can ask them that information in the intake form, and you can explain things like why you want to gather this information, what's the cancellation policy, so then they are aware of this. You are also able to, if you do direct billing, to collect insurance information. Now you can ask them to upload the photo of it, or you can require it. You can also tell them what type of an insurance companies you bill for, and therefore say, okay, I collect information and I direct bill for these companies, and if you are with one of those companies, then I will need this piece of information. They will be able to fill it out, and then they will be able to give it to you without having to chat with you or email it to you directly. Now, this is the fun part. This is where you put your questions. This is what the information that you need to collect from them in terms of like what they're coming in for, their main concerns. You can go ahead and use any of the blocks that we have here, but you also can use the template library because there are some intake forms that do exist in there, and you can go ahead and utilize it. The templates are the exact same, but this will allow you to take what is there, improve it if it needs to. I can click pay and print the receipts, or I can click pay and email them the receipts if they have a valid email, in which case they don't. So I'm just going to click this pay button. Now this is darker green, it has a $sign next to it, so it tells you it's paid. And this is what the receipt is going to look like. So as you see here, it has all of your clinic information, has the patient info, the details of the visit, how they've paid you, and all of their upcoming appointments. So this is the receipt that they're going to get. Now, if you want to reschedule their appointments, all you have to do is click on their name, and maybe they want to come in on Friday at 9. So you click on that spot. You already know we're booking for Thomas. I can say that it's for a follow-up. And then if they do have any policy that they provided you with, you can say, for now it's none, but I do want to add a policy here. So I can go ahead and add that in. So I can say I want to add a new policy. And I'm going to say it's for Pacific Blue Cross. I can add their information. The only basic information you need are their identification and the policy. That's all you would require, and click save. This now saves that they do have a policy that they are wanting you to direct bill for, and then from there, you'll be able to process it. They will then, in 3 minutes, receive all the confirmation emails and all the reminders according to your settings, and that's what you would have to do. When we talk about charting is fun because in the day view, when you click on the appointment here, it will bring up Thomas's charting section right away, which means that you are able to go ahead, use your templates, which will automatically create a draft. It tells you that this is a draft. You can then go ahead and fill out the details. This will autosave. So you can come in and out of this. It will autosave your progress. You don't need to save this manually. You can go ahead, fill it out. Once you're happy with this, you can then go ahead. I've chosen a very long template. You can go ahead and sign this. Once you sign this, this is locked in place. You can no longer edit it. You can make an amendment, but you cannot edit it. This is now a locked padlock, so it also tells you that your charting is completed. From there, at the very, very bottom, I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. This is because we've charted through the schedule. It already links it to your appointment and the type of an appointment that they've had. And it tells you this is your electronic signature. So it tells you you've signed this. Now, maybe you want to share this with Thomas. You can go ahead and click make it visible, confirm. Now this is available for them to see in their document section. That's as easy for you to share them. You don't need to email it to them. Whenever you're like, nope, they don't need to see this anymore, you just come back in here and unshare it, and that's it. Then maybe there's a thing that you need to remember every single time. For example, an allergy or anything specific. You can add a medical alert. So you can say that they have an allergy, you can save this, and now this will pop up in their charting section all times to give you like a visual that says, hey, this is what you need to know. And you can always come back and adjust it as needed, but it is available for you to see. And then maybe you also want to pin something. Maybe there's a thing, an entry that you always like to reference. You can always star it. This will be brought to the top, give you a different color so you can easily locate it. And maybe you're like, This is one thing that I really want to reference. I want to pin this to the top. Now, at the very top, I can see this. This is pinned. I can always open it. And this is kind of like putting a sticky note in the file for you to remember. So you don't need to look for these things. You can always unpin this as well. You're always able to print or export your charts. They're not just stuck in here forever. You have the ability to print them as needed without needing to make any requests. And if you need to upload any files, you can upload it into the patient file and store them here. You will have unlimited storage to do that. Now, I touched on the telehealth. I am going to come back to my handy dandy PowerPoint here. In terms of telehealth, these are some of the things that help your patients have an efficient experience as well as make it efficient for you. When it's about to be 30 minutes before their appointments, they will get a separate invitation. They just have to click on this button and that's how they join. They don't need to register. They don't need to have anything fancy. All they have to do is click this button. Similarly to you, as you saw in the schedule, all I had to do is click the begin button. It told me that my client is waiting. You don't need to do anything specific. All you have to do is click these buttons. Aside from this email, your patients will also be able to begin their session through their portals. So when they log into their My Account, they can also log in here. So they lost their email or they can't access it, they can always do so through their portal. And then I took a quick screenshot. So if they are joining through their phone, they can also join through their phones, their tablets, computers, desktops, and so can you. This is available to you, and those are the things that you can utilize. I am going to also quickly touch on our US insurance. I am on the Canadian side, so I cannot speak too much in regards to the US insurance, but we do have an integration with the clearinghouse called ClaimMD. And this is available for you to integrate with Jane, so you are able to submit directly through Jane. All you will have to do is connect your ClaimMD account with Jane. And once you do that, you are able to submit to both primary and secondaries insurance. You can run eligibility checks, which was coming soon. And then you can also view responses in real life without having to actually go into the clearinghouse. All of this is stored in Jane. It will be available to you. All right. So this brings me to the Q&A session. As I mentioned, this is a bit more of a patient-focused demo. This is not an overview of the entire software. I can talk to you on and on about this. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email us at support@jane.app. You can also book a live demo with one of our drivers. Our drivers are amazing. You can book specifically for US, whether it's cash-based or insurance, and they will be able to go through the demo with you, and you can ask them any questions. You can do this one-on-one. It costs absolutely nothing. If you need the link, please let me know. I will forward it to Tiffany, and then she can send it alongside with the recording possibly. And then one more thing is we do have a very, very big Jane community. We do have a Facebook group of around 15,000 Jane customers and people who are interested in using Jane. It's a very active group. And if you ever have any questions or you're wondering about Jane or anything like that, you just want to see how other practitioners run their practice in Jane, that group is amazing. So please feel free to check it out. You'll be able to also get a sneak peek of any upcoming features, our updated demo websites, things like that. All of that is in there. So it's a great, great, great community to be a part of. Now, I will open up the floor for the Q&A.
Diana, do you have a demo link that you could share?
Absolutely, yeah. I can send it to you, Tiffany, after the webinar. So the quick thing about the demo site is the password. It does reset every Monday at midnight. So being a part of that Facebook community is a great thing because we do post it there on Mondays. And then you can always give us a call if you need the new password. So I'll give you this week's password, which will be good till Monday. And then if you have any questions, you can always email us in regards to the password. We can give you a new one.
Okay, so and I'll I know you'll send me the demo link, and I'll also try to include it with the live webinar recording that we send out to everybody who wanted to attend.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not listed here, but I did have a question for someone who may have been asking this themselves. You froze during the talk when you were talking about how to pay after the appointment had ended. So I was wondering if you could maybe go over that pretty quickly so anyone who is interested in that information could have it.
Absolutely. I will definitely come back. So, can you see my screen on the demo sites?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, when your patient comes in, you have to arrive the appointments. Arriving the appointments will generate the invoice for you, which will now tell you that this patient owes you money for the appointment. So it tells you that they owe you $100 for this session. Then you have to do is click the pay button. It will give you all the outstanding balances that they have, and then you can proceed to click pay. You can then select the payment method, so you can collect payments from outside of Jane, but maybe you also have the Jane payments account, which you can then process the payment for. But I'm going to say maybe because this was an in-person consultation, they paid me with cash. So I can go ahead and say they paid me with cash, and I can click one of the three pay buttons. The first button will just record the payment. The second button will record the payment and print the receipt. The third button is if they have a valid email, it will record the payment and email the receipt to the patient automatically. You don't need to click anything else. They don't have a good email. I'm just going to click pay, which now marks the appointment as paid, darker green, so it gives you visual cues. And then I'm not sure if you saw the receipts, but then this is what, oops. This is what the receipt would look like. There you go. All right. And I see that there's some questions.
Yes, we do. Can you talk about the cost to use the Jane platform?
Yes, absolutely. So I am going to pull this up right now.
As
Just,
well as the cost as a provider.
yeah. So this kind of goes hand in hand. We have currently updated our pricing. So what we've done is we've actually pulled some data and we took a look at what our customers use, how much they use Jane, and what are some critical features that are important to them, like which ones are being used the most. Before, we used to have a helper rate, which was just a discount. So you would sign up for one of the two plans, which was either a basic plan or the insurance plan, and you would apply a helper rate on top of it. What we found is that some people would forget to give us a call or email us to tell us that they want to be renewed for that promo code. And so they'd be billed more because it was only good for us a period of time. So what we've gone ahead is we have created a balance plan. The balance plan is great for starting out practitioners who have less than 20 appointments per month. Maybe that's not you, but that's okay. We have other options for you. The balance plan is good for people who just want to get like a lighter version of Jane. They don't want the online booking. Maybe they just want to just store their files and have their little practice. And that is okay. Once they grow, they are able to move to the other plan without any huge changes in your accounts. The balance plan does not include the online booking, and it also does not include SMS reminders, but you do have the ability to have all these features. And it is 39 right now. There is a promotion, so it's $39 per month plus any applicable tax. Then the practice plan is a bit of like a higher tier to that. It's our most optimal plan that most of our customers use. And it is at $79 a month. And this will have all the features that you see in the balance plan, plus the online booking and the SMS. And you are also able to add the insurance on top of it if you wish. So the 79 a month already includes the account owner's license. So if you're a solo practitioner, you don't have any admin or you don't have any other practitioners, it'll just be 79. If you are working as a part of a clinic and there's a group of you, you would pay 79 plus you can then add either half a license for any other practitioners that are booked for less than 24 hours a week, or 35 for any practitioners that work more than that are booked for more than 24 hours a week. All admin profiles are completely free. So if you have any front desk, you don't need to pay anything extra for them. You can also always adjust your subscription. So if you have practitioners that leave for the summer or they're only part-time, they come in seasonally, you can always adjust your subscription as needed. And you will always have access to change it or add anything extra. Now, the Thrive plan is just a tier above that, and it just has the advanced, like it has everything that these two plans have, plus the advanced options for advanced scheduling, as well as a couple of more options such as packages and memberships and return visit reminders, and some marketing tools like Google Analytics and ratings and reviews. But it is more for multidisciplinary clinics that have very complex setups. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not. That's okay. We have options if you need that. And if you ever want to know what the pricing is, it is on our website. So when you go on jane.app, you can click pricing. This will show up here. We also have a comprehensive breakdown of all of our features as well as plan comparison. And we also have a calculator. So if you want to calculate how much your subscription would cost, guides in terms of our clearinghouse, the integration with ClaimMD, our Jane payments, and I'll also include the link for the Facebook community. And because Kendra asked, what is the Facebook page called? It's called Jane App Community.
And then is there a promo for NANP audience?
Great question, Tiffany. That was one of my last things here. So the Jane community, this is a QR if you want to take a picture of this or you want to scan this with your phone. This is the link for it. And then the promo code that Jane has created for any NANP members that want to sign up would be NANP 1 month off. This does not expire. You can sign up at any time. I highly, highly, highly suggest if you have any questions, and I'm sure you all do, just please schedule a demo with us or give us a call on our support lines. Our folks are amazing. The people who answer the phones are also the people that do the demos. So they are always happy to chat with you through any of the features, anything that you might be wondering about. So the support lines are not exclusive to customers. It's if anyone has any questions, so feel free to contact us if there's anything you're wondering about. Oh, Tiffany, I think you're muted.
Oh, thank you. It looks like the Q&A is empty right now. Does anyone else have any questions for Diana while she's on the line with us? I think you did a great job explaining that. You might get some questions afterwards. It's always a technological thing that comes later.
Yeah, of course. As I mentioned, our customer support, we've won awards because our customers just love us in terms of the support that is being provided. I'm just gonna let you know, like I worked in a clinic myself that used Jane, and that is one of the things that's pushed me to apply to Jane myself because of the customer support and the amount of care that goes by and from the drivers to our customers. So it is our bread and butter. We do care about our customers a lot. If we don't have if you don't have answers to your questions, we will talk with our team and we will find the answers for you. So you don't need to be worried about setting this up yourself. We will offer you account setup consultations, imports if you're moving from other softwares. Our support team is here to support you. So please feel free to reach out. I'll drop all the information to Tiffany and then we will connect if you have any further inquiries.
Okay. Well, thank you so much to Diana Bahutska for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, and we'll make sure that we communicate so we can get the right links and the recording out to everybody, and they can reach out to you with any further questions. Oh, we got something in here. I don't want anyone. Can you personalize your page, your Jane app page?
There is some customization to that. So I'm going to show you that in our demo here. All right, so in our settings, in branding, you have the ability to set your colors. So if you have your hex number, you can just enter it here. And then you can upload your logo, your email headers. You can also upload any backgrounds so you can match it with your website. Right now we have like just the Jane logo and our Jane color. So when you go into your online booking sites, this is what it looks like. But when you customize it, you will be able to see your own. So the framework is there. You're not going to be able to change like the layout or the view of a lot of things, because it's coded, but you will be able to make it your own, and you just have to plug in the details there, and from there you'll be able to customize it. And because I'm going to note one more thing, because Jane is a web-based platform, you do have the link, because you will be able to create your own Jane app link. So it'll be your clinic name, jane.app.com. So you'll be able to use this for your social media. You'll be able to put this on your social links, and you can also hyperlink it into your website, so that way your patients can go from your website to your online booking sites.
Nice.
Mhm. All right.
Okay. I think that's all we had for now. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we will reach out to everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Same to you, Diana, and we will see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.